Okay. I really hope that I stole your one of your plays, by the way.
All right, and we're live. Which play did you steal?
Um, the Bundy play at home.
Oh, dude, Bundy at home is nice. He is facing some lefties, which is, I guess, less of a spot that I like for him. But at home in general, I mean, he's nearly flawless on that first 5 record. So
Yeah, that's. I mean, I already wanted to play the Twins. I think I have a little bit of too much of a love affair with that team, maybe. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see
yeah,
what happens. What's going on, everybody? Just gonna give it a couple seconds before we get into it to let everybody get in here and whatnot. Up and down day yesterday for sure. I think the VIP finished like half a unit or something down or whatever. Baltimore really hurt my feelings yesterday. The team that hasn't been making mistakes all year long makes just some weird mistakes at the end of that ball game. Man, that was hard. Red Sox didn't come to play. That was not expected. It's one thing to lose a game, but to lose it, 8-0 or what have you. That's kind of depressing to say the least. But people ask me about the Dodgers and if I was pissed off about that. Absolutely not. Especially in baseball, guys. Like, you have to take a look at the bigger sample size. If you're going to judge yourself on a 1, 2, 3 day basis, you're going to go crazy. You're going to absolutely go crazy. So just be careful with that. So anyway, we can just jump into it in the first game. Mets at the Phillies. And man, the Mets, I don't like the spot for them. I'll say the first thing is first with Chris Bassett. He's been a stud for them. I can't, as much as I wanted to going into the year, wanted to fade and talk shit about him. He's been consistent for the Mets, especially look at his last 2 starts against Cincinnati and against this same Philadelphia team. 14 total innings, 0 runs allowed. You can actually even bring it back another start to Washington as well. So he's just been absolutely lights out. I will say, though, that Philadelphia did just see him. And then obviously we have the Mets after playing the Braves, which I just don't like the spot. Philly had a day off yesterday and is well rested. And if you take a look at Aaron Nola and what he's done at home, he's been fantastic. And then his last 2 starts against the Mets at home and away, 15 total innings and only 2 runs. So I got 2 plays in this game. I'm going to go Philly money line for 0.75 units. And then I'm also going to take the over 7.5 in this game. I think it's juiced up to minus 115. Yeah, minus 115 for another 0.75 units as well. And the only reason I'm doing that is, first of all, we just saw this matchup. And as much as I don't like the Mets spot, I still think that lineup is capable of producing a couple runs. Maybe not on Nola, but just in general. And then just the conditions of the ballpark. Our friends over at Ballpark Pal, it's like 35% home run increases. Just fantastic weather over there in Philadelphia today. So with these 2 teams and whatnot, I really want to take a stab and take advantage of that weather. So playing the over as well. All right. What's the next game up you got on your list, Beaver? The game
Reds
we were just
Pirates,
talking about.
baby.
Yeah, so we were actually just talking about this game, and I've actually found a play that I really like. I'm going to go under 8 at minus 115 for 0.75 units. Beaver posted a play on Graham Ashcraft earlier in the day on his Twitter account, so you make sure to be following him and check that out. And he can explain that over there. But I also thought that Bryce Wilson was going to have a decent game as well. Because if you take a look at the teams that he's been facing kind of some hard teams. Let me pull these up really quickly because, of course, I just pushed the wrong button. But hold on. I feel bad, but I don't want to give him the wrong information. Okay. That's what it was. All of his games have been on the road. At home, if you take a look at the teams that he's faced at home, it's been a crazy litany of good teams. Milwaukee twice, the Cubs once, the Cardinals once, the Dodgers once as well. Literally the only bad team he's really seen at home is the Nationals at the very beginning of the year. All these other starts have been on the road. He hasn't been horrible in any set stretch of the means. I mean, 2 or 3 runs here or there. Again, I don't really trust the Reds in that lineup, especially without Joey Votto now. Obviously, I know that he wasn't playing very well, but again, you're just taking another veteran bat out of that lineup. So again, I think both pitchers probably pitch well today. If you take a look at the series history as well, again, just like a small little piece of this, but series history between these two teams in Pittsburgh, a lot of 6-run, 5-run games. So I actually think the over is a pretty good play here today.
You mean the under?
Next game. Or the under, yes. Sorry.
This guy's on one today. Just to add to Toast's point, Graham ASHCRAFT against lefties is a literal nightmare, but he's absolutely awesome against them. I meant a nightmare for opponents. He's coming in with less than a 407 OPS against lefties on the road this season. Now he faces Pittsburgh, one of the weakest lineups in terms of lefties. Should be a great outing for him.
Sounds like you're on one today too, Beaver.
Yeah, I'm on one today. I'm tripping over my words a little bit over here. Drink my coffee.
Go back to that Blue Jays game, or you want to go Boston first?
Boston first.
Okay. All right. So first things first. You're looking minus 105 now, but I think a lot of people were going to take a look at Baltimore at home at plus money. But I'm just not there. I'm going to take Boston on the money line at minus 115 for 0.75 units. And this is why. Boston's been playing really well their last 7 games. I understand that they lost 8-2 yesterday. That's definitely not impressive. But before that, 8-3 win, 5-3 win, and then they take 2 or 3 out of the Yankees. And then they beat this Baltimore team as well. Cutter Crawford pitching for them, definitely up and down at times, but he did face Houston on the road and pitched really well against them. He's faced other teams like the Yankees and Cleveland and Toronto, all teams that hit pretty well and done pretty well against him. He did have a bad outing against KC, but the fact of the matter is that this Jordan Lyles is the one that can't be trusted. He's had 2 good starts against Texas and Tampa Bay. Besides that, it's 3 and 4 runs all across the board. His last time out against Boston, he had 3 runs, but that was in Boston. He did pitch well against them earlier in the season. At home, he went 6 innings and only gave up a run, but I don't think he's the same pitcher. I think that Boston, seeing him a few times now, is going to give them a little bit of an edge. Does Baltimore have a pretty decent bullpen advantage? Yeah. But I actually think that Boston's kind of playing just probably better baseball right now, actually, because if you take a look at what Baltimore's done in their last 10 games, they're 5-5, and 2 of those wins was against a Toronto team that really besides last night, couldn't get out of their own way. And then another win against Tampa Bay. So, I don't think that Baltimore's been super impressive as much as they were in the past, at least over the past couple of weeks. So I think we're going to get a cheap price with a hungry Boston team that, again, this is a very important game for them. So if they have to win, can continue to win games like this if they want to be considered a playoff team. So I think it starts here today. So if they can get a win here today, that might give them a little bit of momentum. That's it for that one. All right. Blue Jays and Yankees. This one's actually pretty simple. Blue Jays on the money line for a full unit. I think there is advantages up and down the board. I think that Kevin Gausman is a much better pitcher than Jameson Taillon, especially lately. If you take a look at Kevin Gausman's past against the Yankees, he faced them earlier this year in Yankee Stadium. He went 5 2/3. And gave up 2 runs. He's coming off a bad outing, which I kind of like because the last time he had a bad outing against St. Louis, where he gave up 5 runs, he came back the next start on the road in Tampa Bay and went 8 innings scoreless. Here we are in another situation where he had a bad start against Cleveland. Now he comes into Yankee Stadium, a place where he's had success against the Yankees lineup that's putrid right now. You can make all the jokes that you want, but at this point, they're not even funny jokes because they've been so bad for so long. It's just normal. And then Jameson Taillon. At what point has he pitched well? He's had 1 good game in his last 5, and that was against the Royals. The Yankees bullpen can't be trusted. Clay Holmes is on the IL. I guess if you have Scott Efros closing games and you trust that, and good for you, but I sure as hell don't. I think Toronto has a much better bullpen as well. So I just really don't see where the Yankees have any advantage in this game. So I'm all over Toronto today. Beaver, you don't have to type it, but I will be playing a Bo Bichette total base prop over 1.5 at plus 115. I think that's a pretty good safe bet with his history against Tyone.
Alrighty.
Next game, Beaver. White Sox and the Guardians. And man, this is like a collision of two pitchers that just get on my effing nerves at times. I mean, we have Fat Lance, who I just hate. I mean, think about Sauce and Cueto. It's me and Fat Lance. And then Tristan McKenzie, a guy that I hated. And then I saw him continue to get better and better. And then you hear so many major league players talk about how nasty his stuff is. And he's so up and down. It's, he can look almost unhittable at times. And then other times, like against Arizona and Boston, he just doesn't look like the same guy. He's coming off a decent outing in Toronto. We went 6 2/3, only gave up 2 runs. But before that, against the Astros, went 8 innings scoreless. Chicago's just a team that I can't trust right now. You can make the Tony La Russa jokes and whatnot, but the fact of the matter is their lineup's weak. They continue to lose players. Their bullpen's weak, especially compared to Cleveland's. Cleveland's bullpen since the All-Star break has been pretty damn good. So I'm on Cleveland money line here for a full unit. I think, especially at home, I think they continue their winning ways. And again, Lance, that's one more thing, one more point on Lance Lynn. I know I like to talk crap about him, but there's a little bit of reasoning that he might pitch better today. And I get that, but if you just take a look, he hasn't been back that long, and this is Cleveland's 3rd time seeing him already, and that's exactly what we're getting. When he faces Cleveland at guaranteed rate field, he usually does pretty well, but his last start in Cleveland this year, he got absolutely rocked, and that's the same thing that happened last year. Good start in guaranteed rate field. The last start that he had in Cleveland last year, he got absolutely rocked for 6 runs as well. So Lance Lynn's going to definitely have to prove it to me before I put any money on him. And not to mention, I just don't trust that bullpen to save my life. So Guardians are a really good team, and they're playing really well right now, especially for a division lead. So at home, I got to take Cleveland here today.
Lance Lynn's worst spot was on the road against some lefties, so I like it.
I appreciate that, Beaver. I love when you give me the stamp of approval.
Yeah, those always win.
Because I know that... do that? I don't know.
I was joking sarcastically.
No, I know. But you say that, and then you make me think about it, because I'm like, you never know. It could be one of those situations where we win more than not. It's when we disagree. One of us gets right, when you know what I'm saying. It sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, we get the Tigers at home versus a lefty, guys. I think you already know what the plays are. Tigers, first 5, team total over 1.5 at minus 110 for 0.75 units. Tigers, team total over 3.5 at plus 100 for 0.5 units. Tigers, money line, plus 120 for a half a unit as well. This is one of the spots that I like. Sorry, so much, Beaver. This is one of the spots that we like to play Detroit. And then on top of that, Detroit playing pretty well right now. Again, they didn't look good against the White Sox. They got swept. But then they come in and they going into Cleveland, a team that had been playing extremely well. And they split that series. And they were ahead the last game of the series until an absolute bullpen blow up. And Cleveland put 6 runs on them in the 7th inning. So if you take a look at what Matt Manning has been doing for them, kind of up and down, but again, really solid starts. His last 7 starts, he gave up 4 to the White Sox, 0 to, and all these starts, he's gone 5 innings or more, except for the one against the Royals where he went 2. 0 against the Rays, 3 against the Twins, 1 against the Red Sox, 0 against the White Sox. So, that one of the White Sox was 2021. But again, the point being, he's pitched pretty well. Do I have a little bit of concern with the Detroit bullpen that was once a strength for this team is now a weakness? Yeah. But at the same time, I don't trust the Angels at all, especially on the road. They've lost 3 in a row now. I understand they looked good for a week time when they played Oakland. And then they played the Twins. And yes, they won a couple games against the Twins, but if you watch those games, it was just ridiculous in how they won them. They won them. They get credit for it. But I don't think they should be laying -1. They should be getting -140 love on the road against a team like the Tigers, who's proven that they suck, but they've also proven that home against a lefty is a spot that they can usually score runs against, and they've been scoring runs their last few games. So I got to take the home dog here with the Tigers. Royals and the Rays. And I don't know if Sauce is watching, but I think he's going to be really happy with me, my play here today. I'm fading Sugar Shane at home. I'm taking the Royals in the first 5 on the money line at +160 for a half a unit. Yes, I said it. Yo, have the Royals bats been blah? Yeah. I mean, I can't make a case for that, but what I can make a case for is Brady Singer, and he's been really essentially a stud for them. I mean, he got hit up a little bit, 4 runs in 6 innings against the White Sox, but besides that, he's been literally a lights-out stud for them. 6 innings, no runs against the Dodgers, 7 1/3 against the White Sox, 1 run. The Yankees, 7 innings, 0 runs. These Rays, 6 innings, 1 run. Detroit, 6 innings, 1 run. The list goes on and on. Brady Singer is pitching very good right now. The total in this game is 6.5. The first 5 total, I think, is 3.5, juiced to the under. So they're literally telling you that runs are going to be at a premium in this game. Is Shane McClanahan a better pitcher? Yeah, but has he pitched well his last 1, 2, 3, 4 starts? I mean, I guess the 7 innings, 2 earned against Baltimore isn't bad. I can't give him that. But he hasn't been lights out. So, again, do I think that the Rays probably end up winning the game? Yeah, maybe. But at the same time, with such a low total and a huge number, with I think at least a pitching wash, at least the way that they've been pitching, I have to take a stab with the Royals here in the first 5. I just think it's too huge of a number to pass up with a team that, again, I know that doesn't score runs very well, but I mean, it's a pitching duel with a low total, guys. I got to do it. Am I crazy, Beaver?
No, honestly, Brady Singer's on demon time. I would take the plus money too.
Yeah, it's crazy. Bad guys, Braves. This is a very similar situation for me, just like the Mets and the Phillies. I'm all over the Astros today. And yes, Mike Trout is back in the lineup today. I'm not even worried about that. If he beats me, he beats me. Lance McCullers on the mound for Houston. Beaver, first 5 money line and full game money line, each for a half a unit. I think the first 5 money line is +100. Lance McCullers, obviously coming back off of injury. It's only his second start off of injury, but he looked very good against Oakland. But the bad guys' bats are just on another level right now. Obviously, they scored 21 yesterday. Only a few of the Q games before that. But this team is just, I mean, kind of still rolling. 7-3 their last 10, 12-8 their last 20. And again, I just don't like the spot for the Braves. I think that it's pretty. I mean, obviously, it's simple to say yes. Them coming off of the series with the Mets, it's going to be a low spot. But let's just take a look at who Kyle Wright has pitched against. At Boston, at the Mets, the Snakes, the Angels, the Nationals twice, and St. Louis. Just not really murderer's row right there. I think that when you bring the bad guys' bats into there, it's going to be a completely different story. I think Lance McCullers should easily go 4 or 5, look pretty good in those 4 or 5 innings. And then we all know how good the Astros bullpen is here. So I love the Astros here today. I'm only playing them for a few full unit total just because there's 16 games on the slate. So actually bump the money line Beaver up to 0.75, please. Just to have a little bit more, because I do.
There you go.
If it's too hard, okay. But yeah, I really like the Astros here today. I think it's a really good spot to get them at plus money. Really, not a spot that you get them a lot either. So, taking into consideration, like I said, that spot for Atlanta, I'm all over the Astros today. The bet stealer himself is here, guys. I'm taking a page out of the Beavers playbook, and the Cubs just won the first 5. That's awesome. Both of the plays that I gave out for free on the website hit. That's kind of dope. So Martin Perez, has he been absolutely good for the Rangers? Yeah. He gave up 7 runs against Houston, but besides that, his last 5 starts, he's went 5 or 6 innings and given up a run. Dylan Bundy, on the other hand, as Beaver said, it's almost like a cheat code when he's at home. He also told me that he's facing some left-handers, which doesn't make him like the spot as much. But I do. I think that the Twins are a much, much better team at home. I mean, their record shows it. I mean, at home, they're 11 or 12 games over 500. On the road, they're under 500. I mean, it's not as bad as the Rockies, but it's kind of similar. Just one of those teams that just seems to play better at home. They're on a 3-game winning streak. I mean, obviously they whooped up against Kansas City, but they had a day off as well, and they stay home. I just think that it's a smash spot for a team that has to play, again, a Rangers team that just hasn't been playing well. They didn't get a day off either. And then on top of that, like, I really thought that the Rangers were going to go on a run. Like, I really thought once they changed their manager and whatnot, like the other teams that had done that earlier in the year, they would go on a little bit of a run, but they didn't. And they really struggled against Oakland. I mean, they split the series. I mean, and they looked really good yesterday, scoring 10 runs on a couple of crappy pitchers. But besides that, they really struggled in that series. So I just have a hard time believing they kick it up a notch and then they come in here and face a team that plays much better at home anyway. So, and again, Twins are one of those teams that are first in their division, fighting for a playoff spot where the Rangers are kind of out of it. So, actually, Jackson, you're right. The Rangers have hit better on the road, but they haven't looked as good lately, I don't think. And again, it's just a spot that I don't like for them, especially having no travel and all that stuff with the Twins rested. And Bundy has shown over and over this year during the first 5 that he's been very good. So I'm going to take the Twins on the money line at minus 139 for 0.75 units. And then I'm also going to take the Twins in the first 5 minus 0.5 for just a half a unit as well. Sorry, Beaver at plus 100, just to get just to focus in and isolate that Beaver matchup. I understand how good Perez has been. I really do get that, but I also think that there's a reason that Minnesota's favored like this. I was kind of thinking we would get a better price on them, but the fact that they're still this much favored kind of makes me like them even more. So we'll see what happens.
Dylan Bundy, 6-0-1 on the first 5 money line at home. Just saying. Man's giving out change. He's like Robin Hood, but less physically attractive.
Especially if you see the video of him puking himself on the mound.
Dude, that man's a sweat monger. He sweats like no other. He's actually disgusting, but let's carry on with the picks.
What do we got here? Giants and Rockies. And just first and foremost, why the hell are the Giants minus 162 favorites? I mean, that's just the first and foremost. I'm taking the Rockies on the money line for a half a unit at plus 135. First of all, it's just a play on the number for me. I know that's one of my favorite sayings, but I over my dead body is this San Francisco team on the road. A minus 162 favorite. Has Alex Wood been decent and have decent history against Colorado? Yeah. And he's usually a little bit better on the road, but his last couple starts on the road haven't been that great. One was against the Dodgers, but he wasn't fantastic against Pittsburgh. And then you take a look at Urena. I mean, obviously he got a bad name. I mean, John Boy did a breakdown and stuff like that. It was really bad at times. But if you take a look at what he's been doing, I mean, again, I'm not trying to compare him to the best pitchers in Major League Baseball, but the perception of what he is, I mean, 4 runs against Arizona after they had just seen him, and he had 3 runs before that, 2 runs against the Padres. The Dodgers hit him up, but he pitched well against the Padres twice. He pitched well against Pittsburgh at home. I mean, I just don't think that the Giants should be favored like this. Neither team is really that good, but the Rockies at home are a team that I trust, and especially getting 135. There's just no way in hell. Again, there's no way in hell I'm laying this price with the Giants, so I'm playing the Rockies here.
Oh, good. The Fraudres are up. Absolute bums.
I actually have a little sneaky play in this game. I'm doing both team totals in a SGP, so it's going to be a same game parlay. It's going to be the Nationals team total under 3.5, and the Padres team total over 3.5, and that comes back out at plus 115. Look, and the reason that I did that is I didn't want to play a huge price with the Padres, but the fact of the matter is that Blake Snell has been absolutely lights out for like a month now. I play maybe like national team total unders, and what the national team total under for the first 5 was 0.5. It was a decent plus money, but I think we've done that one time this year with Garrett Cole against the Tigers, and we hit it, and I don't want to rock that boat again. It wasn't, I don't think it was a super sweat, if I remember correctly, Beaver, but at the same time, it wasn't great. And then Paulo Espino, the Padres just hit him up. And again, I know that the Padres didn't look good yesterday, but it also wasn't the best spot for them coming home off of a road trip. They should be in a much better position today. Again, I just think that they score 4 runs here today with Espino on the mound, and then that crappy Washington bullpen. And then on top of that, like I said, Snell has just been absolutely lights out. So that's how I'm going to play it.
Alrighty. My boy's on the mound.
I was just about to say, Beaver just ordered a Marco Gonzalez jersey. It's I can't wait to see him in it. Should be dope. But you look good in teal. I hope you got the teal one.
Of course.
But look, listen. Would I love to go sharp here and take Oakland? Yeah. But the fact of the matter is that I can't. I understand that Marco Gonzalez hasn't looked great over his last few starts, but he does have very good history against Oakland. 3 of his last 4 starts against them, he's only given up 2 runs and went 6 innings or more. And then if you take a look at Cole Irvin, he's been decent. He got hit up against Houston his last time out. I don't really fault him too much for that, but he does not have good series history against Seattle. 0-5 his last 5 starts against them. Seattle on the money line at minus 135 for 0.75 units. Not to mention the Oakland bullpen. I still don't trust that team at all. On top of all of that, they're coming home from a road trip where they were in Texas for like 7 or 8 games. So I just it's really hard to get behind this Oakland team right now. I understand they looked decent against the Rangers, but the fact of the matter is they're 2-8 their last 10. They're 7-13 their last 20. Whereas the Mariners are 7-3 their last 10, 11-9 their last 20. Everybody's back in the Mariners lineup. Again, in the middle of a divisional / wild card race. They have to win games like this, and I'm going to bet them until they show me a reason not to. So, again, I'm on the Mariners again today. Oh, I forgot about this game. The Cardinals and the Snakes, or Diamondbacks. I actually really like this one. I'm going over 8.5 at minus 120 for 0.75 units. And then I'm also going to go Cardinals first 5 team total over 2.5 at minus 110 for another. I'm going to make sure it's minus 110 still for everybody. Yeah, minus 110 for another 0.75 units. Tommy Henry is a rookie with not a lot of experience. And we all know how much the Cardinals just absolutely smash left-handed pitching. I think that they get to him as well. I don't really want to pay the price for it because I just don't know if I'm there with MIKOLAS yet. He doesn't have horrible numbers or anything like that. He just came off 8 innings against Milwaukee. We only gave up 2 runs. Maybe the start from Colorado is just sticking out in my head, but he just hasn't been fantastic, especially on the road. So I think the way that the Snakes have been hitting the ball lately gives me a little bit of confidence that they're going to score runs. They tend to score a little bit more at home. And then them coming home off of a road trip, I don't like as much either. So I think that's another reason that I think the Cardinals are going to score some runs. But again, the Diamondbacks, 5 runs yesterday, 3 runs the day before that, and then 1 run against the Giants the last 2 days before that, but then 7, 6, 3, 9, 4, and 6. So this team is capable of scoring runs. They've seen MIKOLAS in the past. Snakes really don't have anything to play for right now, but at the same time, they have been scoring runs. So I again, the Cardinals versus the lefty, you put that all together instead of having to pay a big price with the Cardinals. I think the overs are just a much better play.
Final game, Toasty.
It's the easiest one on the board.
Yeah.
Easiest one on the board. So Dodgers -1.5, -120 for a full unit. And then I will also be taking the Dodgers first 5 team total over 2.5 at -110 for another 0.75 units. Look, I've said it over and over and over again. I will be playing the Dodgers until they lose 2 games in a row. I posted on Twitter yesterday that, they're not like an absolute auto bet for me. When I posted that, hand up, I didn't know they were playing the Marlins. It's back to automatic. So, I mean, Tyler Anderson's been fantastic for them and for the Dodgers, obviously. And then Jesus Luzardo just got hit up by Atlanta. Again, he's just not one of these guys that's going to go deep into the ball game. The Miami bullpen has traded the good ones away. I think this is an absolute get-right spot for the Dodgers here tonight. Beaver, don't you have a play on a Tyler Anderson play as well?
Oh, yeah. So what I bet personally was I did a little Tyler Anderson under 2.5 earned runs. The line already moved on that, so I guess I can't recommend it anymore unless you like drinking juice, but got that at like -145 earlier. That's why I always say follow the page so you get the best line. But dude, the Miami Marlins can't hit a lefty. They've allowed the last 15 to 17 left-handed pitchers to hold them to under 2.5 earned runs, and now you're getting Tyler Anderson at home, who has slayed giants like the Cardinals, the Rockies in Coors. Like, come on, that looked like a steal. So that's what I got for that.
I feel you. All right. That brings us to the end of the board. A couple guys to keep a look at as far as hit parlays. I'm going to be saving my hit parlays, guys, for the VIPs. Like, I have to, if I'm going to be doing this by myself, I have to be able to give them something and whatnot. So they're going to know my favorite plays and whatnot. But as far as the hit parlays and stuff like that, I got to give them something. But I will give you some of the guys that I like today that you can take a look at. Jose Ramirez, Gio Urshela, Carlos Correa, Nick Castellanos, Bo Bichette, Vlad Guerrero. All those guys, great matchups. Stephen Kwan is another one that's been on fire as well. So a couple of those, like a Castellanos, Alec Bohm, you could do like one of those type of hit parlays. I think that's like -110 or whatever. But yeah, all those names, absolutely. If you want to parlay them with like a hit and a money line, that's usually fun too, if you want to bring down the juice, depending on what team it is. So, but those are definitely the names. I think I'm just going to do this from now on, is give you guys the names, and then you guys can do with those how you want, pick the ones that you like or what have you. So, I will be back tomorrow. Let me take a look at what time the games are, because this is a Saturday, so it's probably going to be in the morning. 9 Eastern, so 10. Let's just go 11 a.m. Eastern. Does that work, Beaver?
Tomorrow, Saturday? Yeah, sure. That works fine with me. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
okay.
No, it works fine with me.
So, all right, 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. One game will be going on by then, but besides that, we'll be able to get pretty much everything in. So 11 a.m. Eastern. VIP plays will be out here in the next 15, 20 minutes or so. I just got to add the hit parlays and whatnot. And then I do have a couple parlays for the VIPs as well. So I appreciate everybody stopping in. Again, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them in the comments. You can DM me as well. If you have any suggestions or things you want to see as far as like matchups or anything like that, just put them in there. I'll try to answer them and whatnot, or anything for in the future. So I'm open to suggestions, doing it for you guys. So I appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys all tomorrow.
Peace, love, queef.
Get the fuck out of here.